Hey guys, this is my deck spotlight series where you guys send me in a deck and I take a look at it, showcase it, just give it my thoughts and critiques. So today we're taking a look at Zach Duer's Spider deck. Um, I'd say it's a Spider deck, but it uses a really lot of support from other areas, and it uses a few of the spiders. It doesn't use a lot of them because it's kind of tough to make them work with just using the spiders. So it uses a lot of insect support, a lot of additional cards, but the main idea is still the spider playstyle, which is, shifting into defense mode and taking advantage of your opponent that way. Now, before I get into it, I just want to really say that I do really like the deck. It's obvious that he's been working on spiders for a long time because he's been optimizing this very closely, and I know he's had previous versions of it. So it's going to be a little bit hard for me to give him advice because he's more experienced with the deck than I am. I'll just talk about some options, but he's probably going to know those as well. It's a very strong use of this deck. It's still not the greatest because spiders just aren't that great, in general, because of their playstyle. But it really has a lot of plays that can take advantage of what spiders can do, and I do really enjoy what he's trying to do here. So for the cards, first off, triple Beetron. So he's running Beetron in order to make use of his continuous spells, which he has a ton of, as well as Underground Arachnid, which makes really big plays. Doom Dozer giving him additional power, a nice card in an insect deck giving you some very quick power. Earthbound Immortal Uru, so he's running a field card. He's also running Pinch Hopper, so he can do some additional plays with Uru, which is a very powerful card. Two Howling Insect, very nice for spiders to search out. Infernity Beetle giving him access to powerful synchros, especially Underground Arachnid, which is a big part of his deck. And then two Mother Spiders, the boss of spiders. With certain combo cards, this can be very powerful. And then he's running two Resonance Insect, so a Searcher, which is very interesting because I could do a few additional plays for him. Two Spyder Spider, giving some additional swarming power with some of the other plays he's trying to do with the defense shifting. Spyder Spider can really make some big plays for you. And then Traptrix Myrmeleo can give you some additional plays. You can activate its effect with Pinch Hopper, and you can search out the holes. And because it's an insect, you could do some other additional plays depending on what you're doing. So now for the spells, he's running one Dark Hole, one Gold Sark in order to search out very important cards for his deck because that's kind of how he needs to run it. Two MST, two Soul Charge. Soul Charge because he wants to make very specific plays, so I think it makes a lot of sense for this type of card, especially with Underground Arachnid. Spider Web, the key to the deck, the field card that shifts defense mode monsters. He's also supporting that with Stumbling, doing the same kind of thing, helping him shift into defense mode, which is very nice for what he's trying to do. And then he's running three Supply Squad, used to be called Supply Unit, just recently came out. A good card for this deck because he has a lot of weaker monsters that will end up getting destroyed because he has a lot of searchers and other things, so it makes a lot of sense to run a card like this, giving him an advantage from the fact that he is planning on letting his monsters get destroyed. Verdant Sanctuary, another big advantage card in insects when you're running a lot of the same levels. So he's running a lot of level 4s, so that will be the big part of how he's going to use this card, and will be really nice to make out some of his plays. I'm still debating 3 just because of the consistency and whether you want to add in, more traps or other things, but it still might be necessary because of how the deck works. Pretty limited on traps. He's running one Bottomless Trap Hole. Two Curse of Anubis. I really like this card for spiders. Might even want to consider this at 3 because of how good it is. But he's not, completely focused on spiders, so maybe not. But in like a complete spider deck that only does the defense stuff, I think you might want to run triple of this. Really nice card. And then two Traptrix Trap Hole. Can be nice, just another, trap card. I feel like he might want to consider running, some more staple traps, but it's up to him. His Traptrix, just one in the deck, not a huge part of the deck, so it's not that important that he runs these whole cards. It might be important to have like a Solemn Warning or a Compulsory or something like that, depending on what he wants to do. So for his extra deck, he's going to be running one Armades just because he has Howling Insect. One Beelze. Underground Arachnid is a big part of the deck, so it's kind of nice that he can be able to get up Beelze. Dark Diviner's in here just in case you want to run Max C, which is definitely interesting. Dark Diviner is a very powerful card, and I think it's definitely fun to run if you are able to. Leo, because you can bring him out with 2, 4, and 4. And then Underground Arachnid, just like the key big card in his deck, allowing him to do some really big plays with Beetron and just turning it into more of kind of an insect deck rather than a spider deck, just because of how this card works. It's not really focused on the defensive kind of stuff, but still really nice, and I really do like this card when you're able to use it. For his XYZ, Abyss Dweller, Exciton, Leviair, Silent Honor, Giga Brilliant, a lot of ones you'd expect. Master Key Beetle, because he does have some of those level 4 Dark, but not that many. Still, I can see the power of it. He still has a couple slots. He can run, other synchros. He could run maybe Fairy King because he does have a lot of Earth, or just a lot of other staples like I like Gaga or Maystroke or Photon or something like that. There's a lot of choices he can run if he wants to. Additionally, with some of his big plays, he can consider running some other ones like a rank 6 or a rank 8 or a triple, rank 4 or something like that. There's a few different things he could do. So obviously he had his own side deck for this, which is, a bunch of obvious choice cards like Maxi and things like that. I just want to throw in a few cards which he probably already knows about, like Guard Penalty, Memory Loss, and Tragedy, all very interesting cards for a deck like this. And there's a bunch of other defensive cards. You can use like Swords of Concealing Light, but the problem is you won't be able to use Mother Spider. So there's a bunch of additional stuff, a lot of interesting spell and traps you can use. I don't think he should mess with his monsters too much. It's up to him. I feel like he maybe wants to just exchange in spell or traps in certain areas to see which is more stronger in certain situations. But overall, I really like the deck, and there's not that much advice I can give for it. And I just hope that he'll continue with it and keep making it stronger. And I'll probably even take some ideas from him when I go back and redo my Spider deck. But thank you very much to Zach Duer for sending in his deck. If you guys do have any decks you want me to showcase on my channel, send me a message. Hit me up on Twitter, on Skype, on anything. I'll be happy to, show it off. I really love to see, some cool ideas people are coming up with, like this deck that really makes use of a lot of different combos in order to make spiders work and give some additional power to that archetype. But that's about it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.